In compassionate response to growing food insecurity and a significant need in the Medford community, the people of the First Baptist Church began stocking a free micropantry for our neighbors. These are stories of the micropantry.
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 11. There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore I command you to be open-handed toward your fellow Israelites who are poor and needy in your land. Luke chapter 3, verse 11. John answered them, whoever has 2 tunics is to share with the one who has none, and whoever has food should do the same. Good morning. My name is Wendy, and Reverend Matt has asked me to share a bit about our micropantry mission. For a number of years, I've brought bags of non-perishable food items to place them in the box in the church narthex as part of our church outreach to support the Medford Food Pantry. Then when the pandemic hit, and we were home, and just like you, I saw and read news reports about the huge growth in the number of people needing food all across our country. And several times I had the occasion to drive by the community market on Mystic Avenue when they had a long line of cars of people waiting to pick up boxes of groceries. I wanted to help. I was fortunate enough to have the ability to help, but bringing boxes of food to the church was just no longer an option. I could and I did write checks to various places offering food resources, and that was a great way to help, but it wasn't always a direct support to our Medford community. I had learned last year when I moved back to Medford that the city had these things called micropantries, but I didn't really know where they were located or how people were able to contribute to them. Then, with a lot more time on my hands and time on the internet in the spring, I learned there was a micropantry not far from my house and that anyone could contribute food at any time. So I started to do that. And throughout the spring and the summer, I made regular contributions to the micropantry that was near me, and I located a couple of others in the city. I really enjoyed that, being able to be directly involved in helping others in that way. As the pandemic went on, I started noticing more and more of the Facebook posts about these pantries, and the author of the post would often write, the pantry at such and such location could use some love, help if you can. I've often thought, isn't that what we do when we help to fill the pantries, share God's love? It was clear to me that the need for sharing food was just a continually growing one in Medford this last year. So I was really excited to learn that our church was going to join in the effort by adding another micropantry in front of 34. It would bring food directly to another part of the city, and I think it's a wonderful way for our church to expand their mission to be an active part of the community and directly supporting our neighbors. So the pantry was installed in front of 34 in late September. It's one of now about 13 around the city. They're all painted the same blue, and almost all are small house-shaped boxes on a pole to make them easily recognizable. They're available 24 hours a day for anyone in need. We welcome and encourage anyone who's able to contribute to our food pantry as much as any of the other ones around the city. The actual box pantry isn't very large, so if you bring donations and there isn't room on the shelves right at that moment, we've added a blue bin to the porch of 34 where you can leave your donations. And we have a church team that monitors the pantry, so one of us goes each day to be sure there's always food available for taking. So if you do leave a donation on the porch, whoever goes the next day will either bring them inside or add them right to the shelves if there's space. I'd say our pantry was noticed and used almost immediately. I go on Mondays and check, and some Mondays I have gone and found it almost empty after I know it had been restocked the evening before. As our pantry was noticed more and more supplies were needed, the missions committee allocated some funds to create a supplemental food supply so that we could be sure we'd always have something to offer. Shelves were set up inside 34 to create storage, and through the regular donations we've been grateful to receive and the supplemental mission shopping, we can say we have been able to offer people something every day, which is awesome. I've had the gift of being at 34 at the church and seeing a few people stop by to gather things from the pantry. I've also heard multiple times from neighbors about how our pantry gets visited by a lot of different people. One day, as I was restocking, a woman came to gather a few things for herself, and she said, "This has been a lifesaver." No, it really has been a lifesaver. Acts chapter 20, verse 35, Paul says, "In all things I have shown you that by working hard in this way, we must help the weak and remember the words of the Lord Jesus, how he himself said, 'It is more blessed to give than to receive.'" We are truly making a difference for our neighbors through our micropantry, and I feel blessed to be a part of that giving. Thank you.